Are you in pain? Okay.
Some families feel doomed before they're even born. Hereditary isn't just a movie about demons, possession, or evil spirits. It's about wounds passed down through generations. About history refusing to let go. About a kind of evil that maybe doesn't come from outside, but has already been flowing through our blood for years. And maybe that's why this film feels so terrifying. Because when it ends, it doesn't feel like you watched a monster movie. It feels like you stared into a mirror. The very first shot already tells us everything. The camera slowly moves into a miniature house, and suddenly, that tiny model becomes reality. But is it really reality? Not exactly. From the very beginning, the film is screaming. These people are dolls. Dolls controlled by family, by trauma, by fate. And it's no coincidence that Annie's job is building miniature models. She's someone desperately trying to control life, trying to frame pain.
You're not planning on letting him see that, are you?
Who?
Peter. How do you think he's going to feel when he sees that?
What?
Try to shrink tragedy into something manageable. But the irony is, she herself is trapped inside a much larger dollhouse. Almost every frame in the film feels boxed in. The camera watches this family from a distance, like lab rats trapped in an experiment. And maybe that's why the movie creates such an unbearable sense of suffocation.
I am so sorry for everything. Please forgive me. I can't stand the things I said.
But what makes Ari Aster such a dangerous filmmaker is that he doesn't create horror from darkness or jump scares. He pulls horror out of family, out of motherhood. And honestly, that might be the scariest thing in the entire movie. Because cinema usually teaches us that mothers are safety, comfort, warmth, protection. But here, the mother becomes part of the curse itself. Annie is a woman who spent her entire life crushed under the shadow of her own mother. Even after her mother dies, she still isn't free. At one point, she says something incredibly important. My mother was always trying to insert herself into my life.
She's completely manipulative until my husband finally enforced a no-contact rule, which lasted until I got pregnant with my daughter.
And this goes way beyond normal control. We're talking about identity being consumed. Annie's mother never respected emotional boundaries. And now that same psychological sickness is spreading into the next generation. The film constantly references mental illness, schizophrenia, dissociative disorders, depression, and this is exactly where the movie starts playing with our minds. Is there really a supernatural force here? Or are we simply watching a family psychologically collapse? And the genius of the film is that for most of the story, we genuinely don't know.
Sneer at you? I don't ever sneer at you.
Oh, sweetie, you don't have to. You get your point across.
Charlie might be one of the strangest children ever put on screen. That clicking sound she makes, her empty stare, the way she moves through the world. She feels disconnected from reality itself. But the important thing is, the film doesn't want us to see Charlie as evil. It wants us to understand she was a victim from the beginning. Even Annie says at one point, "It felt like my mother wanted to be Charlie's mother," meaning the grandmother had already shaped this child long before the story even began. And this is where we enter the mythology of Paimon. Paimon is described in occult mythology as a king who desires a male host body, which means Charlie was never the final destination. She was only a temporary vessel.
She wanted me to be a boy.
And suddenly we understand why the film focuses so heavily on Peter. because this entire tragedy was designed for him from the very beginning. But what truly separates this movie from ordinary possession stories is guilt. The weight of guilt in this film is absolutely crushing. And the explosion point of that guilt is the accident scene. The moment after that scene, the film is never the same again. But the scariest part isn't the accident itself. It's Peter's reaction. He doesn't scream. He doesn't look back. He doesn't confess. He simply parks the car, walks into his room, lies down, and waits for morning. It's one of the cruelest scenes in horror history. Because the film is showing us something even more terrifying than demons. The paralysis of unbearable guilt. From that moment on, Peter is already spiritually destroyed. And after that, the movie slowly strips away his identity. School. Home. Sleep. Reality itself. Everything turns into a nightmare. Even his own body no longer feels like it belongs to him. There's a very important scene many people overlook. The classroom discussion. The teacher talks about Greek tragedy, about characters who try to escape fate, only to move closer toward it. And that's the true core of the film. Did this family ever have chance? Or is everything decided long before the story even started? The film gives us a horrifying answer. No, there was never any chance. Every attempt to escape only pushes them deeper into disaster.
Why are you scaring me?
Make it stop! Make it fucking stop! Make it stop!
Exactly like ancient Greek tragedies.
Don't.
And maybe this is where the title finally reveals its true meaning. Hereditary. But what exactly is hereditary? Mental illness? Violence? Control? Trauma? Evil? The film intentionally blends all of them together, as if family history spreads like a virus. Fear, humiliation, pain, psychological wounds. Everything passes from one generation to the next, until eventually you can't even tell where the darkness ends and the real person begins. And the film's worldview becomes deeply terrifying here. It suggests that humanity may be trapped in endless repetition. Mothers passing wounds they inherited from their mothers. Children carrying darkness they never chose. And maybe that's why evil in this film isn't just supernatural. It's inherited, a cursed legacy. But the ending is where everything becomes truly horrifying. Because until that point, we think we're watching the collapse of a family. But we're not. We've been watching a coronation ritual, the birth of a king of hell. The entire movie was actually a ceremony. And when Peter walks into that treehouse at the end, he's no longer Peter. That identity is gone. All the guilt, the trauma, the family history, the curse. Everything has finally settled inside him. And now he has become the king the cult was waiting for all along. But what makes the ending truly terrifying isn't just that evil wins. It's that the film suggests evil was never meant to lose in the first place. Which means the entire story was simply the slow movement of people who had already been sacrificed, like dolls trapped inside a dollhouse. Maybe that's why when the movie ends, It doesn't feel like you simply watched a horror film. It feels like you learned something terrifying about human nature itself. That maybe some pain, some darkness, and some forms of evil didn't begin with us. They simply continued through us.